Hello, this is Kathi Lee, Crafting with Kathi Lee. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today, or tonight, or this morning, whatever it is where you may be. This is one of my Mass Make March videos for the Scrapbooking with Me Mass Make March 26 Design Team Collab. I am a design team member. I love being on the design team for Scrapbooking with Me because she has such wonderful things. This month she has a beautiful collection that we're using called Timeless and Teal. That's what I was working on last time. That's what I'll continue to work on this time. And I also want to talk to you about a couple other things so you know what's going on. So last time I had started a few journal cards. And so I finished this one. I added a little bit of bling. Maybe I did that last time. I added another flower layered on there. And then I added a flower back here on the journaling. I picture this one as a tuck-in journal card. And when I do my finished project, you'll get to see that. Also, this is another piece. I haven't decided what I'm doing with this one, but I think it will be a journal card. So I'm going to set that one aside. And then for this one, I took two pieces, glued them back to back, put a little word piece there on this. Again, this would probably be a tuck-in, or it could be, I could add the hinge. Miss E just did a really cool video yesterday, I believe, where she showed you how to make real simple hinges to add ephemera into your junk journals and scrapbooks. That would work really well for this. Look at those images. Aren't they just gorgeous? They look like I could just pick those little things right off. So there's another one. So right now that one's a finished one. That one's a somewhat finished one. Okay, the next one I just took a tag and folded it in half. And then I cut around the tab. And I figured this would be a pretty little journaling card. I also cut a few circles and added those for dimension. This again could be one that you go in, or maybe like this and put it in. Or you could simply write on the back, whatever. Not necessarily journaling cards you would journal on. You wouldn't have to. You could use them just as tuck-ins to add something to. So there's three of them. And then, do you remember the one if you watched previously on my Mass Make March, I put one together. And the way I had it put together, it just totally didn't make sense. It wasn't all lining up. So I cut it in half. I made this little journaling card. Excuse me. I made this little journaling card that could be on a page, as a hinge on a page, or tucked into a pocket. Again, there's a lot of different uses for these. And then this was the other half of it. I just added a tab that I cut out of a scrap of paper. I think it was the same paper. I don't know what piece of paper it was. It might have been this paper that I made the tab out of. Anyway, another one you could write on. You could add lines. I kind of like this one because it does have this little space here. You could write stuff. And over here, you could write stuff too. So there's another one. Excuse me, I need to get a drink. Okay, then the next one, I used decal scissors, added paper to the back of this. And this is from the journal filler pages, I believe. Also a Scrapbooking with Me thing, and I just deckled around the edges, used brown. I think when I started this I was using blue distress ink, and I went with the brown. I like the brown better, so I'm going over what was blue is now brown. Anyway, I really like that one. Again, I just used a scrap to make a cute little tab. I do have a tab punch. I just chose not to use it for this project. So there's another one. And then this one, I put two things back to back. This one I did use my stencil, put some lines on it. And I also layered this flower on. That flower wasn't part of the paper. Again, you can tuck it in. You could put it just like this if you wanted to do this side, or just like this if you wanted to adhere it. You could also put a tab or a flap and make it an interactive element. And then the last one was simply this fun little scrap I had. And I think I need to cut that little edge off there. Kind of went over. And I just added that. I added this funny little tab. I have a punch from years ago. I think it's for price tags, but I kind of like using it on some of my pages. So that's the front or the back or either way. So far, just in a few minutes time, actually this is probably a half hour's worth of work total. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little journaling elements, and I don't necessarily think they're a whole lot alike. They all have similar qualities, and that I use the same kit, but also they're all a little bit unique and different. So that is my Mass Make March, my journaling project. I am still also working on my doilies, so I will add something to that. But this was for the journaling card Mass Make. So let me tell you, I'm going to flip through this kit again. Some of you have already seen this kit. I'm going to flip through this kit again as I tell you what's up right now. Right now, today, the virtual retreat tickets went on sale. The virtual retreat starts, let me see my piece of paper. The virtual retreat goes from Thursday, April 16th to Saturday, April 18th. And there is a 2-hour session each day. And we are going to be making a journal. The retreat tickets are on early bird price today. I'm not sure how long they're on early bird price, but there is a substantial discount. I will put the link to that registration in the comments of this, or in the description of this video, so you can go take a look. We will be making a journal along with Missy, and there will actually be physical kits mailed out. So you won't have to print them from home. They will be kits that are mailed out. I just want to keep going through again. This is that Totally Teal collection that I think is absolutely beautiful. I love this. I think I'll just put them up like this. And so the virtual retreat, you can't use a discount code because it is one of the retreats, but it will be a great value. I have just seen a sneak of what the retreat papers will be like, and let me tell you, they are gorgeous. This here with the paint strokes, where you can almost feel like you could feel the texture of the acrylic or oil paint. This to me is just an absolutely stunning kit. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of these papers, because I meant to print out every other page. And these, again, I printed half size. I meant to print out every other page, and I pushed the wrong button and wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I didn't set that in motion. So I printed out, I think, every page from this kit, either half side, 2 on 1 sheet. Oh my gosh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful images. And I love the colors. There's so much you could do with these. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of them, because again, I printed out way more than I thought I would. I'll be doing at least one more Mass Makes project next Sunday, and I haven't decided what that one's going to be, so stay tuned. I can't give you a tease on what it's going to be because I don't know. Again, I'm just loving all of these different pages. These would make beautiful card fronts. And these are obviously beautiful journal pages, or even you could use them, seriously guys, you could put these in an 8x10 album and just have pretty pages ready to lay your photos into. This is one of my favorites. And I'll show you what I was going to do with that after I get these sorted out. Just one after another, pages, pages, pages. Maybe I'll do envelopes or library cards next time. I could do library cards and put them in these. These are kind of like a policy envelope, I think. I could do something like that. Then we have the envelopes, and then all these beautiful tags. If you've watched my videos, you know I absolutely love the stamps. Stamps are one of my favorite things. I think that goes back to the Graphic 45 papers. They used to always have a whole page of stamps. Some of the newer collections only have a strip or two of stamps on a page with other images. I miss those full sheets of stamps. I don't know why. I used them. I loved them. I thought they were the coolest thing. So I'm just flipping through this again. I did flip through it once before, but since I had a few minutes to kill, I thought I would flip through it now. And I love the pockets. These are those big cards like this that could be used for a lot of different things. And then we have these kind of pockets with a notch. Some more of these. More envelopes. And then more of these freestanding that you would fold. You could easily fold this instead of cutting them in half. I did put one on each page, but you could cut them in half. Or you could just fold them. And again, these ones are meant to be a journal page. Okay, so this is the page I was going to do something with. I was going to make a couple more journal cards with it. So while we're here, I'm going to grab the papers I had set aside. See, I just love this. I think this would be wonderful for journaling. So I think I will, just going to cut in half here. I'm not sure how I want to cut it because I really like those flowers. So I think I will do just a, not a perfect fussy cut, just to kind of going around these flowers. Because I think I want that dimension. And I don't think I just want to cut these straight. I think I want to cut them around. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll see that I have been actually doing a little bit of editing on my videos. I've just been adding my little logo up in the corner. And then I've also, I've started putting a different thumbnail photo for everything. It's baby steps, right? There's a few more things I want to do. I think I'm going to try just kind of crafting along and not talking, because my thoughts are kind of scattered. If you've been watching me for a while, you definitely know that. And I'm thinking I just might record me making a project and then just do a voiceover. Also, I used to go live a lot when I sold Creative Memory, or not Creative Memories, when I sold 31. I used to do a lot of live videos. Full on, show my face, show my body, show my bags. And I don't know, I just wasn't nervous doing them. And now I'm totally nervous about doing a live with paper crafting. So tell me what you think. If you've watched my videos before when I used to do them live with 31, tell me if you enjoyed them. I know I did get really good views on those. But tell me, what do you think? Do you think you would enjoy a live? They say you can go longer on lives because people don't get bored. I don't know. I have a short attention span when it comes to watching videos, so I don't know if that's necessarily true for everybody. But my max for a live video is probably about 45 minutes, and then I'm ready to move on. I might come back to it and watch the rest of it, but for the most part, I get a little restless after that long. So I'm just going wildly around this, and I shouldn't have done that right there. Oh dang, I'm gonna have to redo this. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this in another step. Okay, I'm stopping on this one because I don't want to have to cut the whole thing again. So what I should have done is I should have put this paper behind it first. It's not quite long enough, so I'm going to have to maybe put two pieces like this. So yeah, I had a plan. I was going to put this on first, so as I fussy cut that, I would just be able to fussy cut it once rather than have to fussy cut it, because now if I put this on the back, I'd have to fussy cut it again. So what I want to do is just put this on here, and that way I only have to fussy cut once, if that makes sense. So if I were really doing editing, if I was good at it, I would go ahead and edit out this oopsie, but I'm not going to, because I'm not that good at it yet. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do more little graphics. If you see my thumbnail, I use ChatGPT to make a little caricature of me. And that's what I'm using on my thumbnail. That was a big step for me to use a ChatGPT to make a caricature. But, so it wasn't too bad. But I'm not even going to glue this. I'm just going to maybe do it right there and hope it's somewhat lined up. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut this off here. And then I'm going to start fussy cutting it. Don't worry, I will not waste this. I will come back and do something else with this. But for now, I don't want to redo all of this. So I'm just going to go around it and start over on this one. And then I'll finish that other one another time. That was silly. I knew I had a plan. Anyway, so this is going to be another journal card or focal point to put on the center of a page. I'm not sure what. I'm saving all these things I'm making with this totally teal. And I think I'm going to try to put it all together into one project at the end of the month. Now for my job, March is when I start getting really busy. I think I've told you, if you've watched before, I work in a couple different schools. I spend most of the day between 1 and 2 schools. And then I do some home visits and meetings with parents and that type of thing. And once March hits, I'm also really busy trying to get all the kids registered for our summer program. And that takes some of my time away from the schools, which it's good for our summer program, but I miss the time in the classroom with the kids. And in the summer program, I'm not in the class with the kids very often, so I really do enjoy that during the school year. So my time to craft will be like tonight, or today, or well, tonight, it's a little bit earlier when, it'll be a little bit earlier when I'm able to record. Most of my videos I do at night. Some of them I may do like today, earlier in the day. I don't always get them published to YouTube until nighttime. This one I'm going to try to get in before 2 o'clock. It seems like if I wait to edit because I'm busy or have company, then the editing doesn't take too long, but the uploading and the exporting sometimes seems, you know how it goes, the more of a hurry you're in, the slower your technology works. That is definitely true for me on YouTube. Sometimes the videos can process this very, very, very quickly. And other times it seems to go at a snail's pace. So I try to get these published on YouTube. If I do them on Sundays between 1 and 2, I think the last one was almost 3 o'clock. This one could be 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 o'clock. I don't know. It just depends on how my computer is acting. If we get last minute company. If I were really organized, I would record these a day or 2 ahead of time and have them pre-scheduled. But so along with the virtual retreat, we will all be making projects. We'll be crafting along with Ms. E and making whatever the beautiful journal is that she has in mind for us. And I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be gorgeous. Also, the April E's Mystery Montage collection just went on the website. That is a monthly collection. You can get them individually every month, but only if they don't sell out as a subscription. And if you go back a couple of videos, I did do a flip through of the March collection, and there might even be one of those still available. I don't remember. But anyway, the April one is on sale. You can subscribe. You don't have to, you're not obligated to do any certain number of months when you subscribe. So you can do like I do when I try out a new subscription. I don't commit to any certain amount of time. I don't like the ones where you have to commit to a year or anything. But I try it for a few months, and if I like it, I keep going, and if I don't, I cancel the subscription. It's that easy. You're not locked in. I think you will be impressed with the montage, mystery montage from Missy, and I think you will probably, once you start getting them, you'll keep going because they're pretty special. Okay, so see how pretty that is? I mean, I think it's pretty. I think that's a beautiful journaling card. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 journaling cards. And then this will be another one. I could do this one like this. Yeah, let's do that. So I guess I will kind of do that roughly. I guess I will do this since I have a little bit of time. I have a hair on my arm. Oh my gosh, it felt like a spider. I am not afraid of many things. Actually, that's not true. I'm afraid of a lot of things. I'm afraid of bees because I was allergic since I was a child. I don't know if I'm still allergic because it's been so long since I've been stung, but the doctor said chances are I'm still very allergic, but I don't want to get tested, so... And so I don't like bees. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes. So see, there's a lot of things. I'm not necessarily afraid of them, but I don't like them, if that makes sense. And so this isn't going to cover up the whole thing. I think it will. It's going to be, I think if I go straight it won't, so I'm going to have to angle it. So it's going to be slightly angled. So it's going to be weird, but I think it'll still work for a journaling card. So now this is what I was saying. Now I have to fussy cut it again to make it work. So we had, if you've watched me before, you know I've told you we've had just a really mild winter. And I know those of you that live in other parts of the United States have had a wild, crazy winter as far as storms and snow. Well, y'all got all of ours because we didn't get anything for months. And now it's coming back with a vengeance. I don't know how many inches we got this week, or just in the last 2 days. Enough that I was going to go into the city for a crafting thing today. And one of my friends was actually going to drive. And I just chose to stay home where it's nice and warm. And I probably missed out on a whole lot of fun with the girls, but that happens. I have to miss out sometimes. I did spend a really nice day home with my dogs, and my dogs hate storms, so I'm sure they really appreciated that I stayed home. Not sure why that doesn't want to stick. And I had a nice day at home. I would like to say I crafted all day. I crafted on those journal cards for an hour. I did some fussy cutting for another project for about an hour. And I should have been doing that as I watched YouTube videos. But what I did is I just zoned out, did a little bit of just journaling, and watched YouTube videos for half the day. It's terrible, isn't it? But I guess it was therapeutic for me because I had a really nice relaxing afternoon, and then my husband and I had a nice dinner at home. And now he and the dogs are in bed, and I am doing this because this is when I do a lot of this. So my husband has a weird schedule. He has to drive, I don't even know how many miles. He drives an hour and a half, I think, to go to one of his jobs. It takes him a while to get back. He does occasionally get called out. Not as bad as he used to. His job used to, when he was an independent contractor, he got called out 2 in the morning in a blizzard, 6 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, dinner time. He got called out all the time. Now he doesn't get called out as often, but he does get called out on occasion. And so Sometimes when it's been a long day, he comes home and he takes a nap. And my dogs are funny because if he's taking a nap, the dogs want to go to bed too and take a nap. And likewise, if for some reason I take a nap, they like to go take a nap with me. So when one of us goes to bed, the dogs go to bed, no matter what kind of time of day it is. Now, during the daytime, like today, they don't tend to stay asleep the whole time. They get distracted by noises and cars and the wind, and they bark and wake whoever's napping up. I haven't heard them do that this time, but that doesn't mean they won't do it. So sometimes if I feel like I need a nap because I have a headache or whatever, I don't get a full nap because my dogs can be a little noisy. You may have heard me say before that my dogs are jerks. Well, they're not really jerks. They're just very excited. And they're not puppies anymore. But they just get really excited about stuff, especially company. And especially if the company is one of the kids coming home for a visit, or their auntie, my sister, or any man. It can be any male, I should say. It can be a little kid coming over. It can be one of my adult children's classmates stopping by to say hello. But if it's a guy, my one dog is all about just absolutely goes crazy when a young man comes to visit. She just loves it. And Coda's pretty keen on young men too. I think it's because my son, when he didn't live with us, he went to live with my kids. Their dad lived right down the road. And when Robert went to live with his dad, oh my gosh, these dogs would absolutely go crazy when Robert came home. Even if he had just been home a few days before, they just loved it. And we used to have a Schwann's band. Did you ever have those in your area? The dogs love the Schwann's band. They love, and don't get me started on the UPS man. Of course they love the UPS guy. Not so much the one we have now, because they don't often wait till somebody comes to the door. They just drop and run. But our old UPS man always had snacks in his pocket. So the dogs would run out to see him because they knew he was going to give them a treat. And our one dog is huge. And when they got a new driver, of course, maybe the old driver warned him, I don't know. But when we got a new driver, the first time Coda was out, when the UPS man came, this big old black dog just went running right up into the truck, and the driver was in the back, and Coda just ran right up and stuck his nose in the opening to the back, like, hey dude, what's up, where's my snack? Thankfully, the new driver was a good sport about it. Once I told him that Coda was harmless. He doesn't look harmless, he's humongous. He looks like he would be vicious. And he is vicious when there's dogs outside and he's inside. He will bark like he's going to get them. He's really brave when there's a window between the other dogs and him. I don't know that he's that brave. Or a fence. He'll bark the dickens when there's dogs walking down the alley. And their one little dog was a teeny tiny dog that would go walking with her master. And Coda would just go nuts when that dog would go by. But mostly he's a wimp. So that's another dog history joke, or history. If you watch my channel very often, you will know I talk a lot about my dogs. And I think that comes from being empty nesters. No longer have little kids at home to talk about all the time, so I talk about my dogs. I do sometimes, without saying names, talk about some of the cute things the kids I work with do. Because there really isn't a day that goes by that's something cute or sweet. There's not rarely a day go by that something cute or sweet doesn't happen in the classrooms. because in general, kids are all just little wonderful beings. Okay, now, how pretty is that? Do you like it? I think it's really pretty. The journaling would have to be this way, though. It doesn't quite line up, but I think it's okay. So, let's count. This one doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there will be 11. So 11 journaling cards just from probably a couple pieces out of a collection, and you saw how massive that collection was. So again, this is a Timeless and Teal collection from Scrapbooking with Me. This is a project in our Mass Make March collab. You can find the other videos from the other design team members by putting in this hashtag, and I will put it in the description of the video. Come back again soon. Come back to see more of these videos, and also I'll put the description in the description. I will put the link to the virtual retreat coming up next month, and I think the early bird pricing is still on. I'm not 100% sure, but even without the early bird pricing, it is a great deal. So thanks for visiting my channel. This is Kathi Lee. If you feel like it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to hit that thumbs up button, I would appreciate that. And also share my channel if you'd like. So come back again soon. It's been nice chatting. And there's my journal cards. Hope you liked them. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a good morning. Have a wonderful March. If it's snowing at your place, stay inside and stay toasty warm. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.